Stop coping. There's things in this life that you can and cannot change. You have to go out there and decide whether you're going to be like these depressing people and decide that their life is so ruined they cannot change themselves. Or you're going to have the will to power to go out and create a version of yourself you are going to be proud of. I'm Maxwell and I help teach young men find purpose in life. And in this video, I want to talk to those people that find themselves in every comment section of a self-improvement video where it's just this cope, excuses. You want to know what excuses are like? They're like buttholes. Everyone has one, and no one wants to get near those people's excuses. So I look back to myself when I was 12 years old, and I always go back to this age because that's when I was really getting out and understanding the world. I was grade 7 here in the US, and I was going out in social situations, getting the grand scheme of things, and I found myself coping. I'm the guy that just doesn't get social situations, that doesn't have a good physique, that looks ugly, that doesn't get girls. I could have filled myself, I could have filled my mind with that idea. And if I stayed like my 12-year-old self, here at the age of 19, I would have been a bum, a loser, a fraction of myself. The same old Max, but in a new body, just another age. But you know what changed? Is I didn't care about the excuses. Eventually I grew and some things changed because people cope and like to say, yeah, you can't be super tall. You can't change the structure of your face too much. Or your race, your ethnicity, who you are as an individual. There's some things you cannot change, and that's true. But is that a good enough reason to stop running this race? I said to my 12-year-old self, in that moment, that I'm going to do everything I can to become the best version of myself. I didn't have this grand scheme of things. I started off small and I said, you know what? I'm not Maxwell who sucks at social situations. Maybe I acknowledge that I sucked, but I took the steps to improve. And only through self-improvement, I was able to become a man that I am proud of. But people cope. Oh, you only get girls because you're genetics, because how tall you are, because you're an asshole. Okay, if we want to talk about getting girls, you want to know the main reason why I get them? Body game. Body game is your aesthetics, your physique, your frame of life. And you know how I got that? By sheer hard work. I was in the gym some days wishing it would be my last. And through the hard work, I was able to get a physique that gets me girls. So stop coping and saying, oh, it's just genetics. No, I can guarantee that that man who builds his mind with these pussy thoughts is the same guy who stops his reps because they hurt too much. You should be working out with the intensity that you just wish it could stop, but you're going to the point of failure where you cannot go back, but you're going to see how far you can go, facing that fear, that discomfort, and going past it. So that's how I made some gains. And you need this stoic mentality, sure, when it comes to coping. This stoic mentality is that you should accept all things that cannot be changed. Only inwards does change happen. Marcus Aurelius, Buddha, other philosophers in life, they knew this. They knew that peace only comes from within. And I can debate that, whatever. We all have different opinions. But the idea is, I can't change my height. I can't change all my features on how I look. I can looks max and do these mewings and other things in the mirror for ages, and maybe I'll get some results. But of course, there's some things you cannot change. But what says the different avenues in your life that you cannot change fully? Your finances, your frame of life, who you are, psyche is not a word, but your psychology, who you are in your psyche as an individual. Because you have to play this self-improvement game of picking a path that you want to go down. If you stayed who you are today as an individual, who says that individual is going to improve? My biggest thing on self-improvement to stop myself from coping was setting a goal of who I want to be. Then I had to lie to myself every single day until I became that version. Of course, you have some idea of like, who am I? Am I the same version before self-improvement or after self-improvement? And you play that mind fuckery. But to get back on track is you fill yourself with these bullshit excuses. Even like today, I wanted to get these YouTube videos done. It's Mother's Day. And I had so much crap. I was running around town. I've been in the car most of the day. And when I get the moment to sit down, it's filled with so many messages and I get caught up in excuses. Excuses. You know how easy it is to decide to put something down and be a loser? If this is my purpose, why don't I do it? I've made videos on that before. So if you cope with the work that you have to get done, the stuff that you need to do to improve as an individual, oh, you have that voice that whispers those sweet thoughts in your head. You're on a weightlifting journey, but you say one cookie wouldn't hurt. That's the fat ass talking to you. Or oh, watching some porn wouldn't hurt. That's the fucking loser that's been addicted to that for the rest of his life. You have to dig through your mind and truly find the voice inside of you that has the fire. You know how I've been yelling this entire video? Because I'm so fucking upset. My entire day have been set around pushing off my purpose, pushing off the one thing that I should do. And I filled it with so much cope. So you shut up those emotions. You shut up those voices in your head. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to have to be a progressive overload. So one day you do pretty good. The next day it's shit. But you constantly keep getting back up. You fall off that horse and you get right back up. So you can continue to progress. So that loud voice in your head that says eat the junk food, that jerks off, that puts the work aside, that lesser version of yourself, you need to silence that voice by only then choosing to be rational in the moment and intellectual, conscious of, oh, I'm going to do the hard work even though my emotions say elsewhere. Or, oh, I just can't do it because I'm not that guy. Or my genetics, I can't build the physique, I can't build the finances, because you have a limiting belief. You listen to that voice over and over again. Of course, it's the same thing. You're finding yourself in this grounded reality. The people that succeed in life are delusional because they're lying to themselves purposefully to build the character that is going to get it. You lie to yourself and say you can't get the work done. You can't go to the gym. You can't lift that weight because of this and because of that. You're stupid. And I hope this is getting into your mind. I have to be so rash and rough that if you're still watching this video, hopefully you're starting to understand how this works. That cope. I don't know what the definition is. I'm not going to look it up right now. I just don't care. But if it is lying to yourself and having a fake reason of something you can't actually do, because anyone can get in the gym and have a good physique. When it comes to a 10 out of 10 physique, like steroid use, so forth, yeah, genetics, certain things. Height plays into dating. Finances play into all avenues of life. But if I thought I was going to be the same loser forever, I would have gotten nowhere. Only by the belief that I could change and become the best individual that I could become, then, and only then, was I able to improve in every avenue of life and succeed. That the things I could not change, like the length of your penis, or your height, or your facial fucking features, or my race or my ethnicity. Things that are set in stone, my birth, how I was raised, things that happen outwards, I could not change. So you let that slide off of you like water on a duck's ass. But the things you can change, maybe it's the cliche, get women, build a physique, finances, purpose. You can get those things. you can get some pretty fulfilling things out of what you can grab. And you'll be surprised what life allows it to give you if you only decide to push aside the bullshit and actually get the work done. Hopefully this hasn't been just one big motivational rant, but that's what I've been feeling recently. It's not only by myself that I've been needing to get this shit done, but I've been coping too much, relying on outside things to get inward things done. So go out there, do the hard work, even if you don't feel like it. Lie to yourself. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you on the next video.